avoid losing more than 50% of their assets in a California divorce. All right, so biggest thing, this is a strategy I used. You got to get divorce settlement agreement so both of you, you and your wife, to sign a divorce settlement agreement outside of court. And it's great because, one, you avoid paying a lawyer to prepare for a trial, go to trial, litigate for you, talk to the other lawyer. Probably saved you minimum $20,000-$30,000 minimum just on the legal fees, up to like six figures, $100,000. But the second best thing, the most important, is that it allows you to bypass all of the 50-50 community property laws, all the alimony laws, all the child support, child custody laws. So basically, if you can get your wife to sign a divorce settlement agreement, it can be whatever you guys want. And most importantly, anything you want. And then if you do the correct actions, we can get your wife to sign basically anything you put in there if you do the correct actions. So, all right, to start this process off, you got to be, actually for me, I had over $250,000, $280,000 in assets. And I kept 100% of it. I was supposed to pay her 1 year and a quarter of alimony, paid her zero alimony, no children, so nothing in that realm. All I had to do was I just paid her a one-time payment of $650 and I was free. Why? Because we signed a divorce settlement agreement that said that. The judge approved it, so that's all I had to do. So yeah, you can put anything in these you want. So first thing, gotta be sure you're ready to divorce, 100% A+, no doubts, no backing down, because women can sense fear and unconfidence in a man. After that, you got to decide if you want to start the divorce process with a lawyer or without a lawyer. I did mine with a lawyer, but since then I've been researching. You don't need a lawyer unless you cannot get her to sign the divorce settlement agreement, and then you have to go to court and litigate, and you can just bring your lawyer up to speed and hire them at that point. So you can actually save a lot of money. You don't even need a lawyer for basically the first 2/3 of the divorce. I did use a lawyer, but that's because I did not know any better. I just wanted the super safe option. But now if you're doing research, you don't need it unless you are unable to get her to sign the divorce settlement agreement. But that's all the stuff we work on here. That's the whole not divorce system, getting your wife to sign that divorce settlement agreement. So we can actually do the first 2/3 of the divorce with no divorce lawyer. But if you still want one, go to Google Maps, type in divorce lawyer, and also record all those pins that pop up in a Google Doc. Do the same thing with the search term family law. Record all those in the Google Doc. Go to Yelp, type in your city, and then divorce lawyer, enter, search all through those, and then family law, enter, search through all through those, record them, call them up, figure out free consult, paid consult, do a bunch of free consults. I did 4 or 5 and then 1 paid, I think. And then ask their pricing, their rates, also ask for an estimate of how much it could cost based on your situation. Mine was $12K, should have been $5 or $6K. I had them do double the work because I did not do a good job getting all my assets together because I had a lot of records to go through, and I always had them update the forms. I never touched the forms until at the end when I was signing the forms. So, all right, and then you choose your lawyer. You can actually save a lot of money. I've realized a lawyer is not needed unless you go to court, and then you could just hire them then. Okay, next. So you filed for divorce either with the non-lawyer option or with the lawyer option. And now you gotta have the talk with your wife. And I had the talk, then I filed for divorce after, but I believe that's not correct way to do it because when you file for divorce, it puts a temporary restraining order on all the assets, the money in the joint bank account, blah, blah, blah. So it's easier to get back if your wife takes a big chunk out or all of it out after she's been served with the divorce, or after divorce has been filed, compared to if she does it before divorce has been filed. There's most likely no way you're getting that money back if you do the talk beforehand, before you filed for divorce, then she takes the money out, then you finally file for divorce. It was, before you actually filed, so less chance of you getting that money back. All right, so the way I did it, the talk is super important in that it's where you're laying the groundwork, you're leading the woman, and you're having her feel the correct feelings you want her to feel. So women have evolved to be unable to plan ahead, and we're going to exploit that to make her feel like she's not losing access to your assets. Therefore, she does not ask for much in the divorce. So here's what I did in mine. I sat her down and I said, hey, I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. But the state government and our relationship is causing me a lot of stress because they can actually come take my businesses at any time. Yeah, I know the laws are bad. I know the laws are trash. I know it doesn't make sense, but yeah, that's how the laws are. So I'm going to file the papers to get the state government out of the relationship so I can de-stress because it's gotten to be too much for me right now. I'm not kicking you out. You're not going to go live somewhere else. Everything will remain the same. You'll still live here. But I do need to get the state government out of our relationship because it's causing me too much stress. And in my case, first thing my wife said was, you're going to mess up my immigration stuff, because she was still immigration status. And then second, shaming language, she was asking if I was gay. But at that point, I just got up and walked away. And then her mom called me up. I do recommend you talk to her parents if they call you up. And that's because if you don't, they're going to assume the worst. And so you need to assuage their concerns as well. Just tell them the same thing. Wife's I'm not kicking her out. She's still going to live here. She's still going to live with me. Nothing's going to change. Just too much stress. These divorce laws are really bad. State government in the relationship's really bad. Yeah, I know the laws stink. So I just got to de-stress. But don't say too much because you could end up screwing yourself. So you got to have a tight mouthpiece. And then like a week or two later, serve your wife. Started with the divorce papers. You also have to do a preliminary declaration of disclosure. So like opening up your whole financial life, all your assets, all your debts, all asset ownership, all your current credit card balances, your current credit card statements, current bank account balances, current bank account statements, ownership of cars, ownership of boats, ownership of land, ownership of real estate. Also, monthly expense, literally itemized list of everything, all your personal expenses for a month. And also 3 years of tax returns. So you got to give that to her when she's served. She then has 30 days to respond to your divorce request and give you her preliminary declaration of disclosure. I helped my wife with hers because we were still living together. Yeah, and all this stuff that we do it while we're still living together. That's how you get the wife to not feel she's losing access to her resources, to your resources, which prevents her or lower probability of her trying to take a ton from you. Okay, so we've done all that. Then you present her the divorce settlement agreement, and this has to be your best offer to her, aka the most you are happy to give to her and walk away. In my case, it was just $650, and she accepted it. So you can literally put anything in here, but it has to be an offer where you are okay with never ever negotiating from that position, and like you'll never acquiesce, not even 1 penny more. And then she signs it, and then it's submitted to the court. About 3.5 months later, that judgment will be approved by the judge or like denied if something was done incorrectly. And then 6 months, 1 day total after you guys have submitted the divorce settlement agreement is when you are legally single, and you've won.